As YouTubers, I'm sure you're all too familiar when you upload a video, people switch off after the first few minutes. So this is a re-edit of my most popular video, reducing it by almost half, trimming the fat, keeping only the highlights, and adding some unseen footage. It's the same great story, the novelty of riding from the beach to the snow within a few hours, and the challenge of cramming in as much awesomeness as I can on just one tank of fuel. The direct route is 3 hours, 220 k's, but instead I'll zigzag my way across an incredible variety of landscapes, cramming in as much as I can to spice up the ride. This ride starts 6 hours south of Sydney at the beach town of Eden. I head south on the Princess Highway enjoying some twisties before turning off onto what's called the Snake Track. The Snake Track winds its way through a botanical delight of incredible ferns and colourful flowers as they start to bloom now that the weather's warming up. Being early morning, there was a lot of wildlife about, including a posse of 4 deers, which is something I haven't seen too often. It's a little hard to see on the action cam, but it was fun to see.
Yeah, yes. Oh shit, we got people going. Alright, now what's your job, guy?
I was in a great mood after all. I hadn't been on the bike not even an hour, and I've enjoyed some twisties, seen a lot of wildlife, chopped up a tree like some primitive caveman. It was a cracking start to the day. Having made my way through and survived the Snake Track, the scenery changed thereafter, and I crossed over the Toowoomba River back and forth multiple times. Now, this next stretch was by far the most fun. It was perfectly smooth and all uphill, so no downhill off-camber corners to catch me out. This road provided big laughs, big smiles, big fun on what is appropriately called Big Jack Mountain Road. The next point of interest to see on this ride are the abandoned train lines around the Bombala area. I'll be following this track for a half hour, passing under and over many bridges along the way to Nimittabel and the historic train station there. Now, I really wanted to ride in between the tracks, but I just couldn't find a way in. However, I did find a section to ride alongside and eventually leading me to a great photo opportunity. So far, it's been a great ride, taking in a wide variety of landscapes, and the good news is there's still a lot more to enjoy. The ride now takes me into vast open plains as far as the eye can see. It's quite the contrast from the tropical forest only a few hours earlier, and if you have a closer look, you can see the many wind turbines on the horizon, the next part of the ride. Okay, so it's at this point of the ride I know I'm almost at the Snowies. The landscape is scattered with thousands, if not millions, of these boulders, either scattered or stacked on top of one another in many impressive shapes, sizes and formations. Seeing the first snow and ice sign meant I'm getting really close, and riding over the crest I saw the first glimpse of the Snowies off in the distance. Now, of course, this 300k ride can easily be completed within a few hours from Eden, and even though I'm at the turn-off for Charlotte Pass with only 40k's remaining, I'll be staying the night here in Jindy and completing the trip tomorrow for one important reason. The road to Charlotte Pass is closed to motorcycles and opens for the first time tomorrow, and I'll explain why later on in the video. Okay, the easiest way to Charlotte Pass is to stick to this main road, but of course the more exciting way is to turn right here into the small ski resort of Smiggen Holes. Ride through Smiggen's all the way to the end until I reach Link Road. This dirt back road joins Smiggen's to the other ski resorts of Perisher and Mount Lukau, also to Guthaga Dam and beyond. It's all dirt and hopefully see a bit of snow about. I don't know if you can see that, but there's just a little bit of icing on the bike there, which is okay, look, it's not much, of course it's not much, but it's a start. Snow, baby! Woo! Okay, so it looks like this is as close as I can get to some snow. It's too risky to ride. It's just way too steep, so way too risky to ride up there to actually get the bike up in snow. However, there you go. It is 0 degrees. However, it's actually not too bad. Like it's actually really pleasant, dare I say it. And let's check the altitude. 1,600 meters. It's f***ing snowing, man. Now, if you've had the thought, why haven't I ridden this road earlier on in the season to be amongst more snow? It's a very easy answer. Today's the first day where the road is open to all vehicles without having to carry snow chains. National Park and Wildlife Services would have simply denied me entry. So now with no restrictions, today is the earliest I can access the park by motorcycle. Well, there you go, guys, from the surf to the snow. That was a pretty spectacular trip, if you ask me. That's 300 Ks. Everything that you've just seen is 300 Ks or simply one tank of fuel to get from the beach all through that awesome scenery up to the snowies here. Look, I hope you enjoyed the trip. I hope you're inspired to do the same. It's a great trip. 300 Ks, one tank of fuel, all that awesomeness. Thanks for tagging along, and I'll see you in the next vid. If you've seen both the original upload and now the re-edit, tell me, which one did you prefer? And if you enjoyed where my Aprilia can take me, then you might want to watch my epic series Dream Trip Across Australia, where she takes me into some extremely remote parts of Oz on a 12,000 kilometre solo ride. If you've already seen the series, a big thanks. Otherwise, check out this 1-minute trailer and I'll leave the link here. Thanks again for watching and see you in the next vid.